Brace yourselves because an earthquake is hitting America right now. FIFA is terrified, and the most crucial World Cup matches are secretly being pulled from the United States to be handed straight to Mexico. And the reason? A disaster absolutely no one in Washington saw coming. Brace yourselves, because what is happening right now behind closed doors in the most exclusive offices in Switzerland is an absolute earthquake that is going to shake the very foundations not only of world football, but of the economy and the pride of the greatest superpower on earth. The United States thought they had everything under control. They thought hosting the 2026 World Cup was going to be a walk in the park, a flawless business deal where they only had to open the doors of their gigantic stadiums and watch the billions of dollars rain down. Everything looked absolutely perfect on paper, but today, reality has slapped them hard across the face. And for the Americans, the math simply isn't adding up. And this is where the surprise comes in that absolutely no one in Washington or New York expected. Currently being debated with a level of panic we haven't seen in years. The last-minute decision to strip the United States of the most crucial matches, the round of 16 and quarterfinals, to bring them directly to Mexico. We are not talking about simple hallway gossip or a social media rumor generated for likes. We are talking about a change of hands in a broadcasting industry valued in the billions of dollars. We are talking about massive tourism revenue and, above all, international prestige. Because, let's be honest, the World Cup is not a random weekend game. It is the biggest spectacle in the global economy. And right now, the main stage the Americans had built has a crack so deep that it threatens to collapse the entire circus. FIFA, to put it bluntly and in the rawest terms possible, is terrified. They are scared. Why? Because the ticket demand they expected for those clutch knockout games on US soil simply does not exist. It hasn't materialized. They built, or rather, adapted monstrous NFL stadiums. They poured in absurd amounts of money, prepped all the commercial paraphernalia, but forgot one tiny yet lethal detail: the culture. The nightmare keeping FIFA's top executives awake at night is seeing the stands empty. Think about it for a second. A World Cup quarterfinal match, cameras broadcasting live to 3 billion people across the planet, and suddenly the wide shot reveals a staggering 80,000-seat stadium completely empty. That, gentlemen, is the worst blow the FIFA brand could receive in its entire history. The exact instant the world sees those empty seats, the magic, the myth, that unmatched electricity of the World Cup vanishes. It turns into a plastic event. And it is exactly because of that panic, that loss of control, that the organizing committee had no choice but to swallow their pride and look south. Look toward our land. Look toward Mexico, a country where football is not Sunday afternoon entertainment, but an absolute religion. That FIFA had to steer towards Mexican territory to save its own skin and prestige shouldn't surprise anyone who understands how this works. We have, on one hand, the American market. Yes, they have the money, they have gigantic modern facilities with 8K screens and air conditioning, but they are stadiums without a soul. For them, football remains just another commercial product where you go, sit in silence, eat a ridiculously expensive hot dog, and if your team loses, well, you go home and nothing happens. But on the other side is Mexican culture. Here, we live football with a passion that defies logic. Here, a World Cup match is a matter of life or death. It's national pride. It's blood boiling in the stands, and the numbers do not lie. The difference in ticket demand screams it right to your face. The tickets that go on sale for our stadiums, for the mythical, legendary Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, for the ultra-modern BBVA in Monterrey, or the Akron Stadium in Guadalajara, sell out in a matter of seconds. There are millions of people in the virtual queue. The demand completely crushes the capacity because they understand that demographically, the US and Canada are gigantic and scattered. But in Mexico, everything is connected by an unbreakable passion. The distances might be shorter, the logistics can adapt, but what really matters is what you breathe in the air. The history of World Cups, listen to me well, has never been written by how nice the stadium bathroom is, or by the speed of the Wi-Fi. It is written by the atmosphere. It is written by the historical weight of the place. FIFA knows perfectly well that the Estadio Azteca is not just concrete and grass. It is a sacred temple. It is the place where King Pelé touched the sky in 1970, and where Diego Armando Maradona wrote his eternal legend in '86. It is a 100,000 throat monster that creates a suffocating environment, a stage that makes the legs of the toughest rivals tremble and elevates footballers to the status of gods. FIFA is desperate for that. They do not want to be condemned to silent American stands, where no one sings, no one reacts, where there is no pressure. But of course, when you touch the money, you touch the power, and this imminent economic loss for the Americans, as expected, escalated from a sporting problem to an international political crisis in the blink of an eye. Things are getting very serious in the high spheres, according to what is strongly commented behind the scenes in the power circles of Washington. The very President of the United States, Donald Trump, is trying to intervene directly to stop this humiliation, because that is how they see it, that the most decisive matches of the tournament, the ones generating the most millions, are snatched from their country to be given to Mexico. It is an unacceptable slap in the face. It is not only a massive economic hole for the host cities that had already budgeted that income, but it is a deep wound to American national pride and prestige in front of the whole world. The image of the United States as the lords and masters of event organization, the untouchables, is suffering a humiliating defeat against the overwhelming passion and capacity of Mexico. The accusations that Trump is pulling strings, pressuring through various diplomatic and commercial channels to the FIFA leadership to block this transfer, are echoing louder every day in the international press. It is a desk Cold War. Washington does not want to yield, but FIFA cannot afford a television failure. They are between a rock and a hard place. But who is caught in all this billionaire and political chaos? Going to a World Cup is not deciding to go to the movies on a Friday. It is the dream of a lifetime. People spend years, literally years, saving every penny. They already bought super expensive plane tickets to US cities months in advance. They already maxed out their credit cards booking hotels. They organized their vacations and their lives around a calendar that could now go to the trash. If FIFA presses the red button and makes the transfer of these key matches to Mexico official, tens of thousands of fans are going to be left, with reservations in US cities that are no longer of any use to them. Imagine the overnight chaos. This entire tide of people from all over the world will have to urgently process new visas, fight to buy new last-minute plane tickets, and look for accommodation in Monterrey, Guadalajara, or Mexico City. It is a logistical nightmare of epic proportions, and it is the only card holding FIFA back from making the official announcement right now. However, this is where Mexico proves what it is made of. While there is panic in the north, in the south, there is preparation and a smile from ear to ear. The Mexican side is not improvising. They are ready. The national tourism sector, the local authorities of our 3 host cities, and the large and small merchants are rubbing their hands, waiting with tremendous illusion for the possibility of hosting these life-or-death qualifiers. And it is not arrogance, it is experience. The transport infrastructure, the airport network, and the immense hotel capacity of Mexico have already proven their worth in spades. We are not rookies at this. We have organized 2 of the best World Cups in history when nobody gave a dime for us. We can absorb those hundreds of thousands of tourists and give them an experience 1,000 times warmer, more festive, and more authentic than the corporate coldness awaiting them crossing the northern border. Even the true protagonists of this, the most purist football authorities, fully agree. The matches where it is decided who advances to glory and who goes home crying cannot be played in a shopping center environment. They have to be played there where the passion burns. Put yourself in the shoes of an elite player for a second. There is an abysmal difference, an infinite abyss between jumping onto the pitch and feeling how 80,000 souls sing in unison, making the ground vibrate under your feet, and doing it before a dispersed public that watches the game in complete silence while chewing their snacks. Great footballers live for glory, and glory needs noise. It leaks from the dressing rooms of Europe and South America that many of the great world stars, the ones who are going to move the ball, are already silently pressing because they dream of playing those decisive matches in the volcanic atmosphere of the Mexican stadiums. They want Mexico. But at the end of the day, we know how this world works. The economy weighs, and it weighs tons. This monumental change is not achieved simply with a director saying, well, we take the matches and that's it. Moving a quarterfinal from one city to another is literally tearing hundreds of millions of dollars away from the economy of that city. It is taking away the billing of restaurants, the spending on transport, local taxes, hotel reservations at exorbitant prices. The US cities made titanic investments, built roads, remodeled entire areas basing their return on investment on those specific matches. That FIFA now stands in front of them and says, gentlemen, since you cannot fill your stadiums and your people have no passion, we are taking our gold mine to Mexico, has caused a political and media fire of a magnitude that few manage to understand in the United States. They feel betrayed. Mexico, on its part, raises its hand with an overwhelming tranquility. The country has more than enough capacity to fill to the brim in less than 10 minutes those same stadiums that the Americans have not been able to guarantee to sell. We have the capacity to welcome with open arms and the best gastronomy in the world the wave of tourists who will come looking for the true World Cup party. At this very instant, FIFA is paralyzed facing the most difficult and transcendent decision in its modern history. It is a brutal crossroads. On one hand, they have the United States, the most monstrous commercial market on the planet, pure geopolitical power, but where the stands threaten to be empty and the atmosphere is as cold as ice. On the other hand, they have Mexico, the perfect lifesaver, the country that guarantees packed stadiums, that guarantees an unforgettable visual and emotional spectacle for the billions of people in front of the television, and that, above all, would keep alive the true street and passionate spirit of football. Up until this second, the secrecy is total. There is no official statement, and we are all with our hearts in our fists waiting for white smoke to come out of the offices in Switzerland. The tension can be cut with a knife, but beyond what the suits at their desks decide, this crisis has already left us an absolute truth that no one can take away from us. Football will never be just a spreadsheet business or a game played in modern and silent concrete blocks. It is the sport of the people. It is the sport of those who live it with their soul in their hand. And once again, the whole world has had to bow its head and recognize that Mexico is and will continue to be the world capital of that passion. What do you think will happen in the end? Will FIFA dare to defy the anger of the US government and give Mexico the place it deserves by history and passion? Or will the weight of dollars and Washington's political pressure win, forcing quarterfinals to be played in mute stadiums? This geopolitical and sporting battle is far from over, and believe me, the coming weeks are going to be decisive. Leave me all your opinions down here in the comments. You know I always read them. If you found this information valuable and want to continue discovering what really happens behind the curtain of world power, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel right now so you don't miss any updates. See you in the next one.